Welcome to All Change, the programme that puts design at the heart of the learning experience. Today we're at Langley School in Solihull, where we'll be working with the school community to transform a room that's used for health and social care courses. Vocational courses now form a large part of the curriculum in many secondary schools. Courses in healthcare and child development are becoming increasingly popular. They can form a way into social care jobs and to vocational courses in higher education. Over the course of a single weekend, we'll be working with the community at Langley School to transform an old laboratory into an informal and flexible learning space for the delivery of GNVQ courses.
Langley Secondary School want to turn this space into a room for delivering health and social care courses. We'll be helping them to provide their students with vocational education in a more adult environment. And also in today's All Change, the Design Council bring together teachers and school designers to discuss the schools of the future. A brand new staff room for a Warrington secondary school, designed after the teachers who'll be using it were introduced to new ways of discovering some bright ideas. And we've got some suggestions for sourcing new sports teaching aids. A specialist college for the performing arts, Langley School want help to revitalise a very tired room at the back of the school. Used for health and social care and child development courses, it's a very unpopular space. Teachers often try and move students to alternative classrooms when they can, as students hate using the room. Marco de Cruz from Sherlanda de Cruz Architects in Birmingham explained his design for Langley to John Craig, the All Change project manager.
This has the opportunity of being a completely different space to the other classrooms in the school.
So we have this bar effect. It's not a real bar, a bar effect as they walk in the door.
Yes.
In this section here, we then have where younger children can actually sit down. We have carpet tiles just to break it up and bring that colour right up onto the wall.
That's right. Well, the space this week is a bog standard classroom, and what we're doing is turning it from something which is about formal classes into a seminar space. And the way that we've done this is to create a real focus as you come through the door. We've got a really cool bar area, which is more Starbucks than it is school, really. And then beyond that, we've got a real cosy corner for the children when they come in. And then the main space is just flexible. It's free-flowing area. We've got a whiteboard, which we've moved from the standard position on the short wall to the long wall. And just by doing that, the space has got a different emphasis, and it'll be broken up differently, and it provides more options for the teaching staff.
Jenny and Sue, you're going to be using the room that we're making over an awful lot. Jenny, tell me about what the room's like at the minute in terms of a learning environment.
The room at the moment is not very conducive to learning at all. It's very much, the desks are very lined up. You're standing at the front of the classroom addressing the students, and that's not what health and social care and child development is about. What we want the students to be able to do is to be able to be independent learners and to find things out for themselves.
So you need something a bit more flexible to deliver the curriculum?
The students are year 10s and 11s, so they're the older students in the school. So we would like something that's more sort of a college environment, something that's a little bit more grown up for them to be able to become independent learners and to be ready to develop into sort of college students when they do leave us.
So tell me what difference we're going to make to the way that you use the room.
You know, this subject is all about learning about the environment that we live in and socialise in and so on. So the space that they learn in really needs to reflect that, and this new, softer, rounder sort of environment hopefully will do that.
The heavy laboratory tables were cleared out, but they were going to be brought back in later, cut in half and used for the new coffee bar area. Students and staff worked together to get the room prepared.
John, this room's in need of a bit of love and attention. What are you going to do this weekend?
This weekend, we're going to transform the room totally into an informal classroom rather than a very formal classroom with like rows of desks and things. And we're going to start off in this corner here where the sink is and make like a contemporary bar, as you can see here. And we're going to use a few of the old tables that are in here, put them together, cover them over, cut some in half to make a shelf at the back, boxes on the back, and we've got some little stools to go into this corner here.
This sink is really horrible. You're telling me it's going to look nice by the end of this?
It's going to look really sleek. It'll be covered in stainless steel.
Okay.
And, of course, you can see the blues and the yellows and all the rest of it there.
So we're going to have a coffee area, a formal learning area, but what's this space here? Is this just dead space?
No, actually, rather than just the parquet floor, if you come along here now, we've actually got carpet tiles to go in here. So that perhaps, you know, maybe in time they can put cushions there and things for the younger children, you know, for the use of it. Behind that, obviously, we've got a pin board as well for other displays, which brings us to this wall here. I don't know what's happening there. It's pretty blank at the moment, but the whiteboard is moving over to this section of the actual classroom. So the whole classroom twists round, basically. So we had to get rid of all those rows of desks, as it used to be in the old days, and make it more informal. And so people this side can see people sitting on that side. And there's more flexibility as well.
Well, I think I'll leave you to that, John.
I thought you might say that.
School premises manager Ray Baines and his colleague John Paul Priest took down the old ceiling tiles. Ray's skills and negotiating nous have been responsible for saving a great deal of money at Langley.
Ray, it's out with the old and in with the new.
I know, I think it'll make a big difference.
Totally clear. Actually, when all those go up, it'll be a lot brighter, a lot sleeker, and of course it'll help with all the rest of the decor we're doing.
Yeah.
But purely because you and John Paul are able to actually do this yourself, you must be saving the school quite a lot of money.
Oh yeah, there's quite a difference between actually contracted work coming in to actually do it and what we can actually achieve if we can get the materials to do the job. You know, it's quite surprising, which means that basically we can do a lot more for the school than we would normally do with the finances that are available.
Of course, money being an important factor in the school, actually.
Mm.
But well done. I'm just looking forward to it all going back in.
And me.
Ray Baines has done a lot of work himself around Langley. He built this kitchen in the staff room, and he's done an awful lot in the new art room too.
Well, this is an absolutely stunning space for an art room. Just the light and the connection between the inside and the outside here is just absolutely beautiful. But I know you had some challenges around creating something this amazing in your school.
We did. We only had a certain amount of money, and eventually we ran out because it was taking so long to build, because we wanted it to be beautiful. And so we had no money left to furnish it. So we asked Ray Baines if he could come up and do something with his team, and he put in all the benching that you can see underneath the windows, recycle some of the cupboards, the ones in the corner. The Belfast sink that you can see over there, he spent time putting in all the plumbing. And then we were short of hooks, so he's created a few hooks for us.
So having someone skilled like Ray and his team behind him must save you an enormous amount of money being able to get this done in-house.
Well, we ask him every year, please do us a tally of what you've done and what it would have cost if you'd done it with outside contractors. And last year I think it was in the order of about £150,000.
Really?
And I haven't got that money, so I wouldn't have had it done. But thanks to Ray, I can do these things.
That's amazing.
It is.
GNVQ students who will be using the new room got to work designing some new displays. Helped by Ray Baines, John Craig built some wall-mounted storage for the coffee bar area, as staff and students got painting.
Oh, bless you, thank you.
There was a huge commitment from Langley School to take ownership of the project.
With the government spending billions of pounds on schools for the future, it's important that staff, parents and pupils are involved in the discussion about what their learning environments could be like. I'm here at a conference organised by the Design Council, where inspirational speakers and leading thinkers are involved in discussion and debate, thinking about what schools and learning environments could really be like. The conference was organised by the Design Council to launch its Learning Environments campaign. They want teachers and learners to be much more involved in designing new schools, shaping their construction from the inside out. There were a range of debates and seminars over the course of a very intensive day.
We've got a huge opportunity with all of the money that the government's putting into new school buildings, and for us the critical thing is that we really get the best out of that in terms of good design that supports schools to really deliver the kind of teaching and learning that they want to offer. The danger is that we'll simply end up with what we've had before, new versions for old, new wine in old bottles, if you like.
I think this is the right time to have the debate before we spend the money. We don't want to start building schools without engaging in this sort of discussion with our key stakeholders. So I'm very pleased we are having this conference today.
So in 20 years' time, what would you like to see in terms of school buildings?
It's almost 50 years since we had so much money to spend on school buildings. I think for the sake of all our pupils and future generations, we have got to get this right, because I don't think we'll be spending this sort of money on schools again. Next time around, education would be very different. So I think let's create fantastic buildings for our pupils and for our communities. This is not just about pupils, it's about our communities as well.
One of the key speakers at the debate about building new schools was a head who's recently moved into a new school herself. What's her advice?
Whenever we're redeveloping a curriculum area in terms of learning or looking at a new syllabus or a new subject, think about the building, think about the design. Can we change that? Because one of the things we've benefited from all of this is we do actually appreciate that you can change things. You know, it isn't fixed and it doesn't have to stay like that forever. I think in the past, prior to going through this process, the most we thought we could do was perhaps slap up a bit of paint, change the furniture a bit. Well, we are more creative now. We do know more now, and we can make changes.
The conference enabled teachers, designers and LEA decision makers to share their perspectives on new schools.
You've seen it in your programme, All Change, when all of the stakeholders, all of the people that are involved in working and using schools are actually involved in the design process, actually participate in the process. The sense of ownership, the sense of fun, and the outcomes for both teaching and learning can be profound. So yes, people are busy, but I think they have to take time out to think about what kind of school they want, what kind of teaching will be offered in the school in the future, what kind of extended school activities will also be on offer in the school. Generally, people can't afford not to, I would say.
Alan, you're starting the process of designing a new school. What advice would you give to others?
Several things. I'd start by saying make sure that you really do thoroughly research your project. And the only way you can do that, if you're in a school in which you've been in for some time, is to go and visit other schools, newly built schools, schools which have had refurbishments, schools which perhaps have had some kind of remodelling, schools which you know are leaders in an area which you'd like your school to become a leader in, and find out how they do it and how they use their buildings to achieve what you're achieving, to make sure you can design that into your own.
So with billions of pounds up for grabs and creative new designs beginning to replace the tired old schools of the past, what does the future hold?
But there won't be boxes that limit what we do. I mean, a big part of what we'll be doing will be out of doors, of course. But also, there won't just be interactive whiteboards or letters. Hope not. There'll be kids armed with tools, wireless tools that let them talk to people around the world synchronously, asynchronously, in a distributed sort of way. Let them make and create. This is fundamentally about creativity, ingenuity and collaboration. And schools will be absolutely full of that. Where today, they're full of productivity. Can we do it faster, cheaper, quicker? Who cares, you know? Can we do it differently? That's where the future's going to be.
Ray, Val, your head, has been singing your praises. In a nutshell, as a site manager of a school, what advice could you give to other site managers about how best to utilise their money?
Well, practical-wise, I mean, anything that they take down or they can actually reuse, it's a good idea to actually save and maintain. So if they're a practical person, I mean, there's not much that you need to throw away when it comes to materials, because they're virtually all reusable.
So a prime example would be like using the old pin boards and cutting up the desks as we're doing now to reuse them, even though we're sort of painting them, cladding them on the top.
Yeah, precisely.
Val, this is your careers room, but it wasn't always like this, was it?
No, it used to be a very dark art room, and the reason it was dark was because there was a full wall here with very little light coming in, just the windows at the end, and a couple of pillars and an old kiln.